and locally, and we're focusing on the messages of support really for the England footballers. You might have seen the vandalised mural of Marcus Rashford and what's happened since, all those messages of support for him. But of course, the problem is that they were needed in the first place, that those racist messages appeared on social media so quickly after the end of that game. And there were people commenting and have been commenting since that as soon as those three players missed the penalties, they just knew what was going to happen. They knew those messages would come in, and they did. And social media companies have banned lots of accounts. But what do you do? How do you stop it happening again? Widespread condemnation, of course, of this racial abuse. So we've been talking to Steph Lawrence, PC Steph Lawrence, who is the hate crime coordinator for Gloucestershire Police. And we were talking about whether there's been any increase in reports here of racist incidents since the match. And she's basically saying it's too early to tell at the moment, but doesn't really think so. But what if you're a victim yourself of racism, or maybe you witness a racist incident? What do you do? Who do you report it to? What can they do? Here's what Steph told me when I was talking to her.
They should absolutely come forward and report it. We know that victims tend not to want to report themselves. So we ask other people to be upstanders, to friends, relatives, to encourage the victims to report or offer to report on their behalf. Obviously, we would want people to come to the police first and foremost, but if they can't, we've got something which is called an alternative reporting route, or what's commonly referred to as third-party reporting, and that agency is Victim Support in Gloucestershire. They will take that report, and if you don't want your details passed to the police, then you don't have to. Obviously, unless there's an immediate safeguarding risk, you can report to them. They will share the fact that an incident has happened with us, but we don't necessarily know who the victim is. Even if people report to the police, they don't have to prosecute. You just need to know something's happened. And there are many options you can take. You can go down the criminal justice route for prosecution, or you can have something which is, you could possibly be referred to what we call restorative resolutions, which is whereby it's very, very effective method of dealing with some crimes, whereby the victim has the opportunity to speak to the perpetrator. And we've got a great team here at Gloucestershire who are skilled in doing this and arranging for these meetings to happen.
How do they work out those meetings? One can just imagine the conversation, but do they usually have a positive outcome?
Absolutely, they do. Restorative practice is nationally recognised as being a great way of dealing with offences, appropriate referrals in terms of hate crime. And it's about empowering the victim so that they can speak to the perpetrator and let them know how the incident has left them feeling. And it is very, very effective. It's not right in all cases. In some cases, we would encourage people to prosecute. And we can also do something which is called a victimless prosecution, where we will push ahead without the victim wanting to prosecute because we feel the incident's so serious, or if we don't even know who the victim is. So that's always an option. Either way, if somebody doesn't want to report to us, just please let us know it's happened so we can get an idea of what's going on in our county and how we can make it safer.
And of course, this all stems from the Euros and the football team. How closely do you work with local sports clubs when it comes to, racism and hate crime?
Well, we want to reach out to our football clubs across the county, and I think on the back of this now, there really is a sense of urgency that we get together. We've got a wonderful training package which was devised by the University of Leicestershire's Hate Studies Department. I think 300 individuals now across the county have been trained. We want to send this offer out to the appropriate people at our local football clubs and work closely with them so that if they know this is happening, we can offer support where's needed, and also educate people around how to deal with these incidents and crimes, because it is very complex. It's so personal, it's so targeted that there's an element of shame with some people which stops them from wanting to want to come forward to report, which could easily be mistaken as apathy, or that they're not really affected by it, when in fact they are. But it's very bizarre because you carry a sense of shame when you've been a victim of a hate crime. Not everybody, but this comes up time and time again. And having been a victim myself, I can put myself in the shoes of the victim and understand where they're coming from.
Now, you mentioned there was a 4-year plan. You mentioned who you work with, or the people working together, not just the police, but with other groups as well in the county. So where do you think we'll be in 4 years' time? How much do you think you can achieve and move forward and get the message out there?
I think we're in a really strong place. I mean, our 5-year strategic plan was launched back in October 2016, and we have seen increased confidence in reporting to police. Like I said, we have 300 individuals across the county now and other partner agencies delivering hate crime training to our partners. So that has really, really helped us. There are people who are more aware, more upskilled, looking at reporting on behalf of victims, which again, I can't encourage enough. And the changes that we're making internally in policing in terms of capturing the data accurately, which sounds incredibly boring, but it's really, really important. So we can see what's going on and measure our performance as well, and work that I'm doing internally in upskilling our own staff into how we respond to hate crimes and incidents moving forwards.
PC Steph Lawrence, the hate crime coordinator for Gloucestershire Police. As you heard, they want to know of any incidents that you come across or maybe experience yourself. And they certainly, they say the police will investigate. They just want to get a sense of what's happening in the county, and they do work with other agencies as well. And they've got, as you heard there, a 4-year plan as well.